spot, doesn't it? Anyone got a chocolate biscuit on them? No, okay, what's
We weren't asking you to do it. She just wanted you to tell the story about, I guess you guys were doing a panel, and she urged you to do a Tim Tam slam.
Yeah, well,
Tim Tam's
you guys have got to know what a Tim Tam slam is.
Yeah.
Now put your hand up if you know what a Tim Tam slam is.
I know Tim Tam.
Yeah, so they were at Katie Cassidy.
You're the lucky people who know. I don't understand this. I get lines this question. Okay, a Tim Tam slam is, who likes chocolate?
Woo!
Yeah. Right, so you get a Tim Tam and you bite the end off each side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you stick it like in a hot cocoa or a coffee, and you suck through it like a straw. And the moment that you feel the liquid coming through the end, this is starting to sound really.
She put you up to this.
You know this is being televised. As soon as you feel the hot liquid coming to the end, you got to go clap, clap, clap. Eat the whole thing because the whole thing's about to melt. It's like it's a chemical reaction or a scientific experiment or something. But the whole Tim Tam suddenly just melts, and if you slurp it up quick enough, you'll get it all. Otherwise, half it'll drop into your coffee and it's ruined. Well, it's a mochaccino or something.
I promised her on Friday.
Visiting the special forces. Visiting the U.S. military. Any U.S. military guys here? And women, guys and girls, yeah, fantastic, qualified. Anyway, so we got to go up there for a USO trip, and we visited the troops. And when I was there, I was really fascinated by all these young men and that were in the throes of going to war. Some for the first time, some, doing return missions, and. Having played a warrior in a couple of different shows, I was very interested in getting into the mindset of some of these soldiers and these warriors. So I purposefully went around trying to find out who had experience and who was badass. I literally asked, I went up to some of the major guys and I said, listen, who's Rambo? Which guy here, knows his shit and jumps off cliffs into trees and so blows away everybody? And they said, well, actually, that guy over there called Knight. And he was this older guy with a bald head, and, I would never have looked at this guy and thought he was that badass. But I had a few conversations with him. I'm not going to go into details, but I had this one discussion with him about when he goes into covert ops, and he has to go in, and, they have to shoot dogs. They shoot the dogs from perimeters. They have to shoot the dogs because the dogs will bark, and they come in and they take out the guards and stuff like that. And he showed me a chokehold because I said, when you're going in stealth mode, what are you going to do? And he said, I've got to come in behind guys and take them out. And so he put me in this chokehold, and he said, it's really simple. You just go like this, and they're gone. And he grabbed me and he put me in, and I was like, as soon as I was like straight away, and I was somehow I had the survival mechanism kick in, and so I grabbed him by the balls. I grabbed him as hard as I could. Because suddenly, something kicked in. I was like, and it's funny because Knight never shows anything in his face, eh? And afterwards he went, He told me later he couldn't fool himself for like a day and a half. But he would have taken me out, all he would have to do was apply a little bit more pressure and it would have all caved in. So he showed me this move, and then when I left, the boys had been giving me some 5-hour energy drink when I was in Kuwait, because I'd flown there from New Zealand, and they have it in their packs, just in case they end up in a big firefight that goes on for 24, 48 hours. They'll have this, because sometimes you've got to stay awake, they're forced to. So this helps them. And when I was there, they said, you've got jet lag, man, just have one of these. They pull it out of their pack. Everyone's got one. So Knight gave me one as I left the airport. He said, here, to remember me by. And I really had no idea. It was funny. It was a funny thing because they're giving me these things. And I thought, that's funny. And he gave it to me. He said, to remember me by. And I took it. I got to LA and I was only there for 3 days. I was flying back for the Hobbit premiere. On the third day, my manager rings me in the morning and says, Manu, what time's your flight? And I said, well, it leaves in 4 hours. She goes, I need you to go to an audition. I said, I'm going to go to the airport. I need 4 hours. She goes, just go straight there. It's for this show called Arrow. was like, you might know this, but I met Stephen Amell. He flew to New Zealand, and he was one of the 3 people who auditioned to replace Andy Whitfield for Spartacus.
Oh.
And so I met Stephen that one time. He didn't get that role, but he was right for Arrow. But I'd seen his billboards up, and I thought, oh, there's that guy. And so when this call came, I was like, just sort of pennies dropped, and I went, oh, that guy on the billboard, I know him. And sure, let's do it. So they said that the script would be ready for me when I got there. So I go down to this casting agency in Los Angeles, and I go in, and there's all these guys that were walking around. It was so funny. Everyone was really trying to be like Slade Wilson, you know. So they were all walking around like this. And I walked in, there was like 20 guys just going. It's like, hey. And oh no, I forgot one bit. Just before I went in, when I arrived, I still had really bad jet lag, right? And I got there, and I actually wasn't feeling. I got to park my car outside, and I went, oh, I just don't really feel like. And I went, oh, the 5-hour energy drink that Ryan gave me. I'm telling you, when I went in for my audition for Arrow, I was on Mirakuru. Because I took that bad boy and I chugged it down before I went in, and probably even before I walked through the door, I was going like, and so I got in there, and all these guys are doing this business, and they were doing actors, you know, doing all this stare down stuff to themselves. And I started reading this script, and it said, it actually didn't say Slade, it was something like Washington or something. And it said, you know, this character drops down from the roof of the fuselage and jumps up behind Oliver and grabs him in a chokehold.
Oh.
Chokehold. Mirakuru kicking in. I showed you how to do a chokehold. Now do this. Let's make this real. And I could hear these guys that were doing the audition, and there was this one line in particular that was, the line was, you've got 10 seconds to tell me something I believe, kid, or I'm going to cut out your throat box. And I heard these variations coming from inside the room, and I was just ticking off going, he's not going to get it, he's not going to get it. He's a bit over the top. We hear this, oh, I'm going to cut out your throat box. And he didn't get it. And I'm just sitting there, and I finally they come in and they say, okay, Manu, and yep, I say, come on in. So I walk in, and the cameraman's about where you are, and he's the director, casting director, and he goes, like, okay, Manu, you ready for this? And I said, yeah, sure, but can the guy behind you that's doing the reading, this guy here, can he come forward in front of the camera, so I can hold him in the chokehold in front of the camera? Because I don't want to just pretend. Is that okay? And at this stage, my Mirakuru, my 5-hour, I was owning this place. Get him out here right now. Does he come forward, mate? No, they'll go with the Arrow shirt on. I especially want to demonstrate this on him. So yeah, come on. So the guy says, okay, you ready to go? And I swear to you, I was back in Kuwait with Knight, remembering this chokehold. And I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And so I grabbed this guy, and you get your arm around and it locks onto the other arm, and this forearm becomes like right on the wind box. And they said, okay, they're rolling, but I'd already started to squeeze. and so they said, okay, in action. And like, there's a few lines up first, and so it's a little bit of time. Then I got to the line and went, you got 10 seconds to tell me something I believe, kid, or I'm going to cut out your throat box. At which point, this guy collapsed. Unconscious on the ground. And at first I thought I hadn't read the scene right. And I said, is this part of the scene? And the casting director said to me, no, I think he choked him out. And I said, hey kid, you okay? You okay down there? And he was like, he started waking up, and I said, come on, jump up, man, jump up. And the casting director said, you better go to the bathroom and wash your face with some cold water. And so the kid went off. Nice to meet you, buddy. Selfies, kiss your girlfriend. Okay, thanks, mate. So the guy's out cold, gets up, he has to go wash his face, and I'm sitting in Hollywood thinking I'm never going to come back to this town again. And I said to the casting director, I said, I'm so sorry, man. I literally just came back from Kuwait and I met this guy of Special Forces and he showed me a chokehold and obviously it works. And the casting director went, it was perfect. I said, really? He said, yeah, come and have a look. So we were in the back and we were watching the playback and you see this guy's eyes go. I swear to you, it's on film. So I've got it somewhere. I hope they release it.
Hey, what's the matter when you...
I am Groot.
Oh, sorry, Giving Tree, I'm listening to music. Here, you want to listen?